All right, ready to dive into the world of Leonardo da Vinci.
Always.
Today we're taking a closer look at one of his most iconic pieces, the Vitruvian Man.
Yeah.
I think most of us have seen the drawing at some point, but
Oh,
I
absolutely.
bet there's a lot that people don't know about it.
Yeah, I think that's true. It's kind of a deceptively simple looking drawing, but it's got a lot going on underneath the surface.
It really does. More than just a famous sketch, it's this fusion of art, science, and philosophy. And for this deep dive, we're pulling from research and information from the Gallery dell'Accademia di Venezia, which is where this masterpiece is actually housed.
That's right, yeah.
Are you ready to uncover some surprising facts?
I am.
I think so, too. Well, it's not even called the Vitruvian Man, is it?
That's true, yeah. It's kind of a popular nickname for it.
Right.
The actual title is Study of the Proportions of the Human Body, which kind of hints at, I think, Leonardo's intention with it.
Right.
Really, it was to explore the ideal human form and its connection to the universe.
Hmm. So it's more of a scientific, philosophical kind of investigation. And
Exactly.
Yeah, not just a sketch.
Precisely. And speaking of actually seeing it, it's going to be on display in 2025 in an exhibition called Modern Bodies, The Construction of the Body in Renaissance Venice. It'll feature
Oh, wow.
works by Leonardo, Michelangelo, Dürer, and Titian.
Oh, wow. What a lineup. Now, this drawing, it wasn't always on display in a museum, though, right? I mean, it was originally part of a larger collection.
Yeah, it was. And the drawing's kind of journey to the Gallery dell'Accademia is interesting.
Yeah.
And it shows how much this piece has been treasured, I guess, over the centuries.
So let's unpack that journey a little bit.
Yeah, so the Gallery dell'Accademia acquired the drawing in the 19th century, but before that it was part of, it belonged to a series of collectors, Giuseppe Bossi, the Di Pagave family.
So it's passed down
Yeah, it was in private collections for a long time.
through generations before it ended up in the museum. What's interesting to me is that iconic composition with the nude male figure inside of both a circle and a square. There's got to be some deeper meaning there, right?
Yeah, there is. So to kind of understand it, you have to understand a little bit about medieval symbolism.
Okay.
The circle, representing the heavens, was seen as eternal, divine, and then the square representing the earthly, the material world.
Right.
So by placing the man within both of these shapes, Leonardo was visualizing the idea of man as the microcosm reflecting the macrocosm, that humans bridge the gap between the physical and the spiritual.
So like humans are this perfect blend of heaven and earth.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But for a long time, it was thought that this image was based entirely on the writings of Vitruvius, the Roman architect.
Yeah, he was very famous for describing ideal human proportions in his book, De Architectura. He believed that good architecture should mirror the proportions of the human body,
Okay.
reflecting this harmony found in nature.
So it's like our bodies are basically the blueprint for perfect architecture.
Yeah, in a way, according to Vitruvius, yeah.
But there's more to the story, I understand, than just Vitruvius.
There is. And this is where it gets really interesting. Recent research has suggested that Leonardo was also heavily influenced by Leon Battista Alberti, who wrote a book called De Statua and the Principles of Euclidean Geometry.
Okay, so it's not just Vitruvius. We got Alberti and geometry in the mix now. So was he drawing from multiple sources?
Yeah, it's very possible. He was, a voracious learner, and he loved to combine knowledge from many different fields. And if you look closely at the measurements and proportions that Leonardo uses in the Vitruvian Man, they don't perfectly align with Vitruvius's text.
No.
They actually seem to follow Alberti's analysis much more closely.
So this raises a pretty big question then. If he was so heavily influenced by Vitruvius, how is it that his drawings are more in line with Alberti's work?
Well, that's the most fascinating part, I think. Historians now believe that Leonardo may not have even been able to read Vitruvius's work directly.
Oh.
At that time, it was only available in Latin, and Leonardo didn't actually know Latin.
So one of the most iconic images of all time,
Yeah.
thought to be based on a specific text, was probably not even directly based on that text.
Oh.
And we're finding this out centuries later. That's amazing.
Yeah. It just goes to show there's still kind of these hidden depths to uncover, even in work as famous and as well-studied as the Vitruvian Man.
It makes those other studies on human proportion that he did even more intriguing.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't a one-time thing.
Right.
There are similar studies that exist in Venice, Turin, and even the Royal Collection at Windsor.
Wow.
So if you're ever in one of those places, you should definitely try to see them.
Going on the art bucket list.
Yeah.
But seeing even the Vitruvian Man in person isn't that easy. It's not always on display.
Yeah, that's true. It's an incredibly fragile drawing, and it needs to be protected from things like light and temperature fluctuations.
Yeah.
So the Gallery dell'Accademia only displays it for limited periods to help preserve it.
That makes sense. I mean, drawings and prints on paper are delicate. They need that special care to last for centuries.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Plus, the cabinet of prints and drawings, where it's usually kept, is currently closed for restoration work.
That's right, yeah.
So even if you're lucky enough to be in Venice at the right time, there's no guarantee you'll see it.
Unfortunately not. Makes it all the more special, I think, when you do get the chance.
It does. Well, we've just scratched the surface of the Vitruvian Man's secrets, but we'll be back to delve even deeper after a word from our sponsors. And we're back, ready to continue our deep dive into Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man.
Indeed.
It's easy to get, caught up in the historical details and all that, but
yeah.
I think it's important to step back and remember that, at its core, this is really a testament to Leonardo's just, endless curiosity.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real, that Renaissance spirit of just wanting to understand the world, the human body, and, our place in it all.
Yeah.
And of course, Leonardo wasn't just an artist. He was an anatomist, engineer, inventor. The list kind of goes on and on.
The ultimate Renaissance man.
Yeah, really.
It's like he's saying, look at this incredible complexity and beauty of the human form. Let's explore it.
Yeah.
And he did.
He did, yeah.
Leonardo meticulously studied human anatomy through dissection and observation, always, looking for connections and underlying principles.
Absolutely.
Speaking of meticulous, I read that the Vitruvian Man drawing is covered in tiny writing that's barely visible to the naked eye.
That's right, yeah. I mean, Leonardo packed the margins with all these notes on human proportions, anatomical observations, even mathematical calculations.
Oh, yeah.
It just shows how much, dedication he had to this idea and just really wanting to, document everything he was learning.
Yeah, but it seems like those notes were more than just random thoughts, right? I mean, they reflected this really deep understanding of classical and contemporary sources.
Oh, for sure. Leonardo wasn't just copying what other people had done before him.
Right.
He was, taking these existing ideas, synthesizing them, questioning them, really pushing the boundaries of understanding.
Yeah.
And I think that's, really what makes the Vitruvian Man so significant. It's not just a beautiful drawing. It's really a window into, Leonardo's mind, his process and that pursuit of knowledge.
So it's like we're being invited to join him on his journey of discovery, to look closer, question assumptions, explore the unknown.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
I mean, it's inspiring, really.
Yeah. I mean, that spirit of inquiry, I think, is something that we can all take inspiration from.
Absolutely.
No matter, our background or what we're interested in.
It's about embracing curiosity.
Yeah.
Challenging what we think we know. And never stopping learning. Right.
Yeah.
I wonder how, this is just a random thought, but how would Leonardo react to the advancements we've made in anatomy and our understanding of the human body since the Renaissance?
That's a fascinating thought. I mean, we have X-rays, MRIs, genetic sequencing. I mean, we can see inside the body in ways that, he couldn't have even imagined.
Right. We can explore the microscopic world of cells and DNA and, map the intricate networks of the brain and even manipulate genes. I mean, I bet he would be blown away by what we've learned.
Totally.
I feel like he'd be particularly captivated by neuroscience.
Yeah.
Especially, the mysteries of consciousness, memory, and emotion.
Oh, for sure. To be able to, see the brain in action, see how thoughts and emotions are processed, I think he'd be, just endlessly fascinated by that.
Or imagine showing him a 3D model of the human body that you can rotate and zoom in on and all this.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably spend hours just studying every little detail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'd be in his element for sure. But, knowing Leonardo, he wouldn't just be observing these advancements.
Right.
He'd be, right there on the front lines, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, just like he did in his own time.
Yeah. It's incredible to think that, in a way, we're all carrying on that legacy of curiosity and exploration that he embodied.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice way to put it. The pursuit of knowledge is, a timeless endeavor. We're all part of that ongoing story. But it's not just, scientists and academics who are fascinated by the human form, I mean, the Vitruvian Man has really transcended like the realm of art and science to become this, cultural icon.
It's true. You see it everywhere on T-shirts, mugs, tattoos, even, album covers.
Yeah, it's become this symbol of, human potential, ingenuity, the interconnectedness of everything.
I think part of the appeal is that, like, sense of mystery and intrigue that surrounds the drawing. It's beautiful, it's elegant, but it also seems to, like, hold these secrets, that are waiting to be unlocked. And people are just drawn to that.
Absolutely.
Like a visual puzzle.
Yeah.
That invites us to, decipher its meaning and connect with Leonardo's genius across, centuries.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vitruvian Man has almost become like a symbol of the Renaissance itself.
Yeah.
This time of intellectual awakening, artistic innovation, and just this boundless thirst for knowledge.
Yeah. And that spirit, I think, continues to resonate with us today. We're still striving to push those boundaries of what we know and what's possible, just like Leonardo did.
So as we move towards wrapping up here, I have to ask, why should we, in the 21st century, care about a drawing made over 500 years ago?
Yeah.
What makes it relevant to us today?
Well, because the Vitruvian Man is so much more than just a drawing. It's a really powerful reminder, I think, of our shared human history, our capacity for, like, brilliance and this enduring quest to understand the world around us.
It's a call to embrace curiosity, to question everything, to explore the unknown, and to never stop learning. It's Leonardo's legacy, and it's one that, we can all share.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
That feels like a perfect transition into our final thoughts on the Vitruvian Man.
Yes.
But first, we'll take a quick moment for everyone to let that all sink in.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man.
It's been quite the journey. Art, science, history, even philosophy. We've covered it all.
We have. We've seen how this drawing, it's so much more than just, a simple image on a page.
Definitely. A symbol of human potential, a reminder of the power of curiosity, and of course a testament to Da Vinci's genius.
Speaking of curiosity, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. If Leonardo were around today, what parts of the human body do you think he'd be most fascinated by? What would spark his curiosity in the 21st century,
That's a great question. I mean, we've come so far since the Renaissance in understanding human biology.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about it. We can explore the microscopic world of cells and DNA now.
Right.
Map those intricate networks of the brain, even manipulate genes. It's incredible.
I bet Leonardo would be drawn to neuroscience, don't you think? Trying to unravel the mysteries of consciousness, memory, emotion, but with all the tools we have now.
Oh, for sure. To be able to visualize the brain in action, see those thoughts and emotions being processed,
Right.
You'd be fascinated.
Or picture him in a lab, right? Exploring, like bioengineering, where we're using technology to enhance and even recreate human tissues and organs. I mean, the possibilities are just endless.
Knowing Leonardo, he wouldn't just be observing, he'd be right there pushing the boundaries just like he always did.
Absolutely. And it's amazing to think we're all kind of carrying on that legacy in a way, right? That spirit of exploration, that drive to learn more. That's what Leonardo embodied. It's alive and well.
It really is. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from our deep dive into the Vitruvian Man. This drawing from over 500 years ago is a timeless reminder. The pursuit of knowledge never ends.
So, to our listeners, as you go about your day, take a moment to appreciate the amazing complexity and beauty of your own body, and never lose that sense of wonder and curiosity that drove Leonardo to create such a masterpiece.
Well said. It's a powerful symbol of human potential and a call to action. Keep exploring, keep learning, keep pushing those boundaries of what we know.
Maybe one of you listening will be the next Leonardo, making those groundbreaking discoveries that change our understanding of the human form. Until next time, keep diving deep.